Hello, Year 11. So this is the 8th version of the 9 boxes revision activity for the Foundation Tier GCSE. Now, as always, what I'd like you to do is to pause the screen and try to give these 9 questions a go. The 9 questions this time are slightly different. We brought in a couple of new topics as you get more familiar with the other ones. So try your best, have a go, and then we'll see how well you've got on afterwards. Okay, so hopefully you've had time to try all of the questions. I am now going to start to slowly talk through the answers and hopefully make some of them a little bit clearer for you and tidy up any issues. I think the key thing for me and the key thing for you really is the more of these you do and the more confident you get with these sorts of questions, the more marks you're going to get in the exam. The 9 questions on the board here, each worth 2, if not 3, possibly even 4 marks in your exam. Obviously, roughly 9 3 is 27. So you've got about 27 GCSE marks available from the 9 questions I've selected here. The first one is estimating. Estimating always seems to cause problems because what we try and do is we become more accurate than what they want. It's a bit strange. In your GCSE maths exam, the estimating questions actually have an answer that they want you to write. And there's just a knack for how to do it. The first thing to do is underline the first number that isn't a 0 in every number. Strangely, in this one, it's all the 4s. So underline the first number that isn't a 0. And then you round to that number. So the 4 here is in the tens column. Therefore, we're rounding it to the nearest 10. So 41.4 to the nearest 10 is 40. The 4 here is in the units column. So we round it to the nearest unit, which is 5. Now, don't forget, I said we don't underline the 0, we underline the first one that's not a 0. So it's the 0.4, so it's the first decimal place in the tenths column. And when we round that to the nearest tenth, we actually get 0.5. Okay, then all we've got to do is actually work out the question we've got left. So 40 times 5 is 200, and then it's 200 divided by a half. So how many halves go into 200? Well, the answer is 400. And that's the exact answer that they wanted. Okay, question number 2. Work out 10 minus 8 divided by 2. Quite a common 1-mark question, and this is a BidMaths question, but it doesn't mention BidMaths during it. You need to make sure that you're always applying it. So we have to do the division first. Well, 8 divided by 2 is 4, so we get 10 minus 4, which gives me an answer of 6. Question number 3, find the volume. Well, to find the volume of any shape, we find the area of the cross-section. Now, the cross-section is a face that runs all the way through the shape, and then we multiply that by the length. So I'm going to say the cross-section here is this face. Well, the area of that face is 3 lots of 5. So I've got 3 times 5, which is 15. And then I've got to do 15, and I've got to multiply that by 8, because we're seeing how far back it goes. So I do 15 multiplied by 8, and I get an answer of 120. Don't forget your units. 1 mark available for your units usually, and it's volume, so it's centimetres cubed. Okay, question number 4, ratio. So sharing in the ratio 4 to 3. So what that really means is 4 for you, 3 for you, 4 for you, 3 for you, 4 for you, 3 for you, and so on. So each time we're sharing 4 plus 3, which is 7. We see how many 7s go into our total. Well, our total is 35. 35 divided by 7 is 5. Then we just do 5 lots of 4 and 5 lots of 3. 5 4s are 20. 5 3s are 15. So 20 and 15 adds up to 35, so you know you're correct. The answer is 20 and 15. Factorising. As soon as you see factorising, let's get those grids drawn. We've got 3a squared there, and I've got 12ab. And the question you ask yourself is, what is it that goes into 3 and 12? What number goes into 3 and 12? Well, 3 does. And do they have any letters in common? Well, they both have an a in, so I can put an a there as well. Okay, in that case, 3a times what gives 3a squared? Well, we're just missing an a there, aren't we? 3a times what makes 12ab? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. And I've already got an a on this side and an a in there, so I just need the b to go with it. So the answer is 3a brackets A plus 4B. Okay, question 6. Now, first thing we notice are these two lines here. Now, these two lines mean that they're the same length. Well, those two sides being the same length in a triangle means you've got an isosceles triangle. So as part of your reason, we should have base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. So make sure you got that written down. The base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. I'll spell isosceles for you. Okay, so base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal, which means that that one and that one are the same. But I can work this angle here out, can't I? Because these two are on a straight line. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. That should be your next reason. So angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees, which means that that angle in there is 70, and that angle in there is 70. And you know that angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That's your third reason. So angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Well, I've got 70 plus 70, which is 140. Therefore, A needs to equal 40 degrees. Your reasons are just as important as your mathematical calculations. So please make sure you got those three reasons down. Base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. And angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Okay, number 7. Can use a calculator for this one. It's a Pythagoras question. So you draw your squares onto every side. Now the area of that square there is 16. The area of this square here is 100. If you look at it carefully, this side here is the longest side. And we know that the area of the two smaller squares add up to the area of the larger square. Therefore, the area of this square has to be 84. Well, if I know the area of that square is 84, and I just want to know the length of the side of it, I've just got to do the square root of 84. And when you do the square root of 84, we get 9.17. So 9.17, that's the 2 decimal place, I've just rounded it. Okay? The circumference, well, C equals pi d. And if you didn't know that, you do need to go on YouTube, you need to look at the song. Okay, listen to the circle song until it becomes incredibly annoying. And you've heard it so many times you know all the words, because it will help you with this. So circumference is pi times diameter. We're given the diameter because that line goes all the way through the centre of the circle. So circumference equals pi times 8. And pi times 8 is 25.13. And it's just centimetres because the circumference is just a length. Okay, and finally number 9. Write 60 as a product of its prime factors. Well, hopefully you know what product of prime factors mean. And you also know the other way they could ask you the same thing. Prime factor decomposition is one way that they often write it. It's factor trees, isn't it? So as soon as we do a factor tree, we've got 60. We'll go for 2 and 30. 2's prime, so it goes in a circle. 2 and 15. 2's prime, so it goes in a circle. 3 and 5, which gives me 2 times 2 times 3 times 5, which simplifies to give 2 squared times 3 times 5. You can check we're right. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, times 5 is 60. So hopefully you were confident with the majority of those. Do make sure you work on anything that you were slightly unsure of out of the topics that we've looked at today. Thank you very much. Please make sure you are checking out the specific revision videos as well, which are just some short tips, slight tricks on how to maximise your marks on certain questions. Thanks for your time.